All right, go for it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. It's V the Gorilla Economist coming to you live with my main man El Cuco, who's working the airwaves, making sure the broadcast is coming out crispy and clean. You know what I mean? And we have with us the one and only Gus Demas, the man, the myth, the legend, the most preeminent. I must say this, folks. He's the most preeminent social commentator of our generation. Gus Demas is here, folks, and he is from perpetualassets.com. Whether you're terrified that commies are going to wreck the economy and your 401k is going to turn into a 101k, and you decided that you too want to have massive balls and a spine, then you need to go to perpetualassets.com and talk to Gus Demas or his fine feathered friend Will Lear and let these guys help you out and structure the proper retirement for you. And with that being said, Gustavo, welcome back, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, boys.
Happy Wednesday, man. Let's start with the what you sent me a link, and I thought it was a you were joking with me yesterday, and then holy crap, CJ and I saw the link and we fell over backwards. CJ, could you pull up that news story?
The Michael Rappaport one, or
No, the masks.
Oh yeah.
9/11 story.
Breaking 9. Yeah, it's real. It's all real. We've been saying, like I said, the fact the shit we've been saying for 3 or 4 weeks is now gone.
Post. Look at this shit.
There it is.
There you go. If you're white, you got to wear a face mask.
we like I told you guys last night, we are now Jews living in Nazi Germany. This is the early stages. Yeah, it is. And the white, straight Christian men are obviously the enemy, but it's more ideological than anything else. And if you need any proof of that, you could see the way the harshest people they attack are gay conservatives or black conservatives or women conservatives. Those are we're this is it. Like, this is it. And I sent you guys this morning the fourth generational warfare Wikipedia link. And if you go down that list, you're like, I guarantee, when I could say this with a great deal of confidence, when historians look back on this, the last month, even this year, when historians look back on it 50 years from now, 100 years from now, they will be able to, well, depending which side wins, Orwell, of course, but they will identify we're already in a war. Like we're in. We
are war in a decentralized format, which is what you sent us with that link with fourth generation warfare.
Yeah, look
exactly what it is.
Look at the bullet points.
It's asymmetric war.
When people think of war, civil war in this country, unfortunately, us three kind of know what the U.S. has been doing around the world for the last 30 years. This is what they're doing in their own country now. The deep state, the neoliberals, the commies. This is shit they've been doing all around the world for 30, 40 years. This is the model. It's not when U.S. people who were raised here, when they think civil war, they think troops on one side, troops on the other. They voted on it, blah, blah, blah.
No.
So that's not the way wars are fought anymore.
Not anymore.
No, especially internal wars within a country or government coups or revolutions. They are fought with everything we're seeing the last 6 weeks. We're already in one. Like people are in denial about. Some people think it's just kids throwing rocks. Other people think, everything will slow down after the election. Other people think this. Other people think that. Make no mistake.
There's no evidence that any of this will slow down after the election.
No, like I said, let's say the commies lose in November, this will get ramped up. And if the commies win in November, my prediction would be that instead of all this, if they continue down this ideological road and they win, let's say the Democrats sweep the White House, the Senate, it's a landslide and Democrats control it all. Then I would think you would start seeing the same tactics the left is using now, the commies are using now. I would think you'd start seeing that. That's when you start seeing conservative pushback. But then the conservatives would become the rebels. Right now, the liberals, the commies are the rebels in the streets, breaking laws and getting away with it. If you flip the roles, and the commies run through the federal government. The executive, the Senate has become completely useless, quite frankly, on the executive side. The Trump's executive branch, 40% of it, 60% of it is compromised with permanent liberal administration. Dude, did you see the picture of the FBI agents taking the knee to the fucking commies? It was, and if you look at the FBI agents, it's a bunch of like fat social justice warriors with pink shoes. Like that's our FBI agents now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, well, that example gives you a piece of what this was always all about. When you have 8 years of an Obama, for example, what they do is they saturate their people in every single facet of the federal government. Yeah. You saw it with the IRS targeting conservatives. You see it now with federal prosecutors and federal activist judges. You see it with the FBI, CIA. They put their people in place, obviously.
Right.
The problem is we were like I said, Generation X was brainwashed too. It was just a different type of brainwashing. Our brainwashing is media never lies, government never lies. You could believe in the state. Anytime you question one of the apparatuses of the state, you're labeled a conspiracy theorist. Because this is the sales pitch, right? So, but what we've seen the last 3 years is they're just like with the replace the police or defund the police. They don't want to defund the police, man. They want their brown shirts in there. Fuck. Like do you really think Nancy Pelosi is going to walk around without guards? Do you really think AOC is going to walk around? Are you fucking crazy? Are you retarded? Like there's no fucking way. It's a scam. They want their people they want their people to be the only ones with guns, and they want to have a monopoly on the use of force. But to do that, they need to have their own ideology complete across all the feds, the states, the cities, etc. So we're, like I said, I think looking back 50 years from now, 100 years from now, this will already be tagged as a coup, a revolution, a civil war, something, because that's exactly what's taking place. It's undeniable, dude. It's on the last dude. They've tried to overthrow the president for 3 years on a lie, on bullshit, on fake shit. Like, so if that we live, it pretty much seems like we live in a fucking banana republic, and we've been lied to. I mean, we've been scammed too the whole time. The whole thing's a fucking scam. The whole fucking thing's a scam. There is a deep state. There is a fucking oligarchy that meets in Davos. That's all. It's all true. Like if I've learned one thing the last 6 months, last 4 months since the lockdowns and all this bullshit, it's goddamn. Alex Jones was right about a whole lot of shit. It's all true. It's not a rabbit hole. Like it really is all in your face now. I mean, the Oregon white thing was just one example. Dude, how about the NASCAR black dude who lied about the noose? A garage door, and garage door opener was a noose. Like everything's a noose now. Everything's right. and the same thing with the Oakland. So some black dude in Oakland puts up ropes to exercise in a tree. What does the media and Oakland mayor and the rest of it do?
It's a news. They're going to hang black people.
Dude, and the black dude came forward and he goes, "No, I put it up because I did it to exercise during the lockdown." And dude, they still push the story. Guys
doing like rope training and stuff.
Dude, that lets you know the level. So that's like the municipal control by the commies is the mayor side. Then the media control kicks in with them promoting the fake lie. What's terrifying is even the feds are in on it. Like, so you have 15 FBI agents show up for the NASCAR bullshit. 15. While the rest of us are watching
15. While
the rest of us are watching the country burn, people getting pulled out of cars. We're watching terrorism.
You know, Bubba Wallace, aka Jussie Smollett 2.0, Juicy Smollett 2.0. He still hasn't admitted, "Hey man, it's a mistake. Somebody tied a noose. That's all I know is somebody tied a noose. Whether it was done 2 years ago or 10, it doesn't matter. It's a noose."
That's what I mean. It's think about, there are now two sets of rules. There are rules if you're in the commie cult, you're protected, you get to do this, you get to do that, and then there are rules for the rest of us. It doesn't matter if it's Oregon, a woman being attacked in Louisville. Like they tried to say she was running over. That's the thing now. Everyone's running. If you, dude, I made fun of it 4 weeks ago. If you don't let us kill you, you're racist. Like that's the level of madness we've entered.
You know what sickens me about this whole Bubba Wallace bullshit? The fact that all these NASCAR teams were pushing his car into the finish line, and they were all walking in solidarity with this idiot.
That's where the courage comes in. And Tim Pool went off yesterday or 2 days ago, and it was one of the best 2-minute rants I've ever heard. And he's not a libertarian, or he's a
liberal. He's a real liberal, liberal.
He's a transferred liberal. Yeah, he's like David Rubin. He woke up. He's like, these people are fucking nuts. These SJWs are like Maoist, fucking insane commies. And he had the best rant. He's like, all of you, stop being fucking cowards. Like, it's here. And for those who are, I have a family, I have this, I have that.
You won't have anything, but
I don't think people understand what the other side looks like. And I suggest you study Venezuela in '92 when he first tried overthrowing the government with his coup. I can't believe they let him out after 2 years. But study what happened in Venezuela. Study how it happened in Cuba. Study how it happened. Study all this shit, but for the last 100 years, and you'll start to see. People are in fucking denial, is the truth. Even some of them are terrified because they don't want to get fired. They don't want to be branded by their neighbors. People are in fucking denial about how serious.
It is insane. It's to the situation that if some SJW were to bring out a social media comment that you said, you could damn near lose your livelihood.
You can, but the other option is slavery 2 years from now.
Correct.
So people have to ask themselves, first thing I would say is, my buddy asked me yesterday, who's also an entrepreneur and almost untouchable. He asked me, so what the fuck do we do about it? I'm like, I can only tell you what I'm doing about it. What I'm doing about it, and what set me off is that I really do have to get involved, was when they started blasting like, oh, we got to take down Jesus and the European Virgin Mary. I'm like, oh, really? Like, okay, as a Greek guy who's been in fucking
the Orthodox Church
I've been in a holy war for 2,000 years. You're going to start taking? I don't think so. I don't fucking think so. Now it's.
I like to see these guys show up at the front door of the Greek and Russian Orthodox Church and see what happens.
I don't fucking think so. You fucking Turks. Now I'm going to start. I don't know what I like better, commies or Turks. Now I'm going to start calling them all Turks.
But don't say that. Chunk Yogurt might get a.
I hope to meet him in person one day. And
would you love to hit that fat fucker? I seriously would.
The advice I gave to my buddy was, you have to know the laws and rules. Number one, know the laws and rules. That's the first thing. The second thing is record everything that happens. If you're going to go guard a church, you're going to want to know the laws and rules. Record everything, because that's their greatest gift. My word versus your word, no witnesses, or they start recording on their phone after they've punched you in the face with a fucking bike lock. Know the laws and rules, record everything, and have a lawyer on retainer. That's the wisest advice I give anyone. If you really want to start pushing back, I'll give you an example of knowing the laws and rules. Their greatest advantage right now, the commies, the Turks that are doing all this shit, is they are attacking municipalities who do not fall under federal jurisdiction and do not fall under private property. Why is that important? Well, why that's important is if they went on private property, then you have the right to actually fight back using force. So that is part of the law. You still want to record it, and you still want. So private property, they avoid private property. If you notice, they do that on purpose, because people, if it's private property, you could push back legally if it's recorded and it's all done above ground. We have to know the laws and rules, the federal laws and rules, the state laws and rules, and municipal laws and rules. I've been saying that for 4 or 5 fucking weeks. Learn your fucking laws, learn what's allowed and what's not allowed, document it all. You'd rather be judged by a jury of 12 than a mob of 50. But their side, you should be aware. I know everyone thinks they're stupid zombies. This thing is fucking totally coordinated, totally fucking planned and protected. And by know the laws and rules, not only know the private property laws and rules, they're picking places they know they have immunity. They're picking liberal cities where they have the district attorney covered, the mayor covered, the police, the governor will be covered. So that's their MO. They avoid, until recently now, they're pushing the federal stuff. When they start attacking federal shit, then Trump could actually get involved. So that's when he could. It doesn't matter what the mayor and governor think. If they start attacking federal, if they go after Mount Rushmore, then
Sure.
Trump, or the Jackson thing, you saw Trump step in yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever it was. They're going after Lincoln now. So you have to know how this game is being played. This game is being played because they are getting immunity from whoever controls the law, if it's a municipal or state or whatever. So hell just broke loose in Wisconsin last night. The reason why fucking they didn't get crushed is because the Madison mayor, the Wisconsin governor, they are being protected. So they are falling under the municipal law for Madison and the state law in Wisconsin. You should be aware, and Tucker finally said it last night, what we've been saying for 4 weeks. The liberal politicians, this is their army. This is their militia. This is their enforcement branch. Why would they arrest their own militia? Of course not. These are their soldiers doing their bidding in the street. You could see it. And that's why whenever they start getting cute in a Republican controlled city, it gets squashed in a day or two. Vegas lasted 2 days. San Diego lasted a couple days, not much damage. Miami they tried getting cute in Miami, they got squashed.
Yeah, the cops beat the shit out of the guys.
What do all those cities I just mentioned have in common? It's not a liberal mayor. This is all about whoever controls where you live is allowing it or not allowing it, because this is their army. The same holds true for the law. You have to know about where you could apply self-defense, and big asterisks if any fucking Antifa's listening. It's got to be in self-defense, obviously, but you have to know how much force you could apply and when it's justified and all that. And a lot of it is determined based on where you are. Are you in your own home? Are you in your car? If I, for example, I'm going to start reaching out to, if they really go on the route of the church, I'm going to start reaching out to local churches and saying, it's private property. Do you need any assistance in me standing guard? I'm getting involved now. Like, fuck this. I've had enough. And the church is private property, and with the church's blessing, I would gladly go split shifts with someone. The religion is my line in the sand. That is, because you know what they're trying to do to us, dude? This is the best way and if you really put it all together, they're trying to cuck us out.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
They're trying to say that it's like someone fucking your wife or raping your wife and seeing if you'll put up with it. They're poking to see, fight back, I dare you. Fight back, I dare you. Fight back, I dare you. Fight back. They're poking. We're going after fucking Jesus and Virgin Mary and openly? Like, really? That's where we're at now?
Right.
Like, know your fucking laws. So if you have the blessing of anyone on private property, that, again, know your laws, record everything, because you know how it's going to be twisted, and get a fucking lawyer. If it goes south, they're going to, again, depending on what jurisdiction you're in, whatever, if the DA or prosecutor, get a lawyer. These are times to have criminal lawyers on retainer. That's where we're at in this cycle. So it's all real, man. It's all fucking real. It's here. It's in front of us. And depending where you live is going to be, I mean, if you look around the country, wherever like the staunch liberal mayors are in charge,
yeah,
you're fucked. You're fucked. If you own property or a business in Seattle or Chicago or New York City, you're fucked. You're totally fucked.
Oh, you are. Dude, there's 180,000 people that lived in Soho, Tribeca, Chelsea. They're not coming back, man. I got a buddy of mine who has a multi-million-dollar apartment in the city right now, and he's like, I'm like, dude, are you coming back? No.
Why would they?
Yeah, he's got like $6 million apartment in Tribeca in a top-end building. He's like, no, I don't feel safe.
Why would they?
Yeah.
We have reached a point where I don't know what it's going to take for the average person to snap out of it. Maybe they have. Maybe I'm crazy and November will be a fucking red landslide. Maybe. I don't fucking know. But what I do know is that this is 100% orchestrated. 100%. Think about the levers of power that are involved in this thing. That's what makes me so fucking, quite frankly, angry and upset. Like the law no longer applies to these people. I mean, how else can you say it? They think about that for a minute, dude. The Oregon thing is just the tip of the iceberg. We're the guy in Kentucky said free healthcare for all black people only. Like what? Like if I'm living in Kentucky, the governor, and I'm like, wait, let me get this straight. You're going to tax me, and you're going to give free healthcare to these people. Have gone full Nazi treating Jews. Like we are treated now like there's exceptions. It's madness. This is.
Hey, CJ, play this. Watch this, Gus. CJ, share the screen. I'm going to play this video real quick. This is like happened in New York the other day. Watch this.
Oh, I saw this assassination. Yeah,
I was just washing his car. This is what's wrong. Look, they emptied the look at this.
There's more. There's another one. There's the guy in New York City that was found dead in his car.
Look at these pasty. Look at this. Holding the middle finger while their arms are jiggling.
Destroying public property. Immune to the law. Immune to the law. Did you see the New York thing of them throwing an M80 at the homeless guy?
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. Go Google.
You gotta be kidding me.
Dude, because there are no ramifications, man.
Right.
This isn't complicated. This is you have a bunch of, you have a bunch of losers and fucking nerds that just got told wink wink by the politicians, the district attorneys, the mayors, the governors, wink wink, do whatever you want. Wink wink, do whatever you want. So if you give the vermin, the retarded parasites of society the green light to break the law, guess what? They're going to break it. There it is. Here it is. Look at this. Oh! No, it blows up. It blows. Look at that. Look at this. Boom.
That's fucked up.
Dude, yeah, just a homeless guy laying there.
Oh no!
Quarter stick of dynamite.
Oh. You tell me. Look, and did you see the smile on his face as he's walking away?
Yeah,
that dude is protected by the mayor.
Of course.
Think about that.
He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing.
Think about that. If this was 500 years ago and I saw that dude do that, if this was 500 years ago, I would have chopped his head off with a sword on the spot. Just chopped his head off.
Yeah.
Now you have the person running the municipality fucking allowing it. They won't even go after that guy. Even the guy who got shot dead in the street. That's why I revert to every person on our side, every conservative, every liberal, anyone who loves America, anyone who loves freedom. This really is about freedom versus tyranny. That's where we're at this point. I don't care what your political party is. This is about freedom. This is about liberty. They don't want this is going to turn into a tyrannical commie regime in a fucking hurry. And here's what's really funny. I mean, I've brought this up a few times. All these fucking losers doing all this shit, they're going to be the first ones in a labor camp or in prison. Like as soon as the revolution is complete, these motherfuckers are done. Done. They're going to shut them down. You get Biden and Kamala Harris and Warren and all these fucking skanks. They're going to fucking crucify these people as soon as they serve their purpose. But you have to know, it's important everyone to understand the hierarchy of the way government works. Like, again, city, county, state, federal, you have to understand the full spectrum of how this is being run. Because how it's being run is the commies pick their battles usually on where they're protected. And where they're not protected is they get squashed right away or they avoid. And I'm living in one of the protected areas. Our mayor is a fucking independent. She's the one who got in a fight with Anderson Cooper. Plus, they would never let these people storm Bellagio. The Bellagio private security would come out and gun them down. Like, because we're a gun-friendly state and it's a stand-your-ground state and blah, blah, blah. And everything's recorded. Again, you have to know what's going on and what applies. People are fucking terrified. They're terrified for their career. They're terrified for their family members. If they say something, they might go after your kids. They might go after your siblings, your parents, whatever. Everything's fair game at this point. But it's fucking, dude. It's fucking nuts. It's nuts. I've gone through the 5 stages of grief, and I'm at the final stage. Well, no, I'm at acceptance, right? So at first I was angry, then depressed, and bargaining. Like now I've just accepted what's going on. Like now I'm okay. This is a game. Let's do this. Fuck it. We're living through history. Like, you know, that's one way to look at it. I guess that's kind of exciting. We're living through something they'll be talking about in 500 years. We're living through history. Again, we'll see. I don't know. Do you guys think they're going to try to ride this all the way to November, or do they go back to lockdowns?
I don't think. I think the Corona hoax is over. I think it's literally falling apart. The latest things that are being said about, there's a surge in Arizona, there's a surge in Texas cases, there's a surge in Florida cases. Nobody really gives a rat's ass. Nobody's going back in their homes.
No.
Now it's now the rioting and the protests are the new normal. And what's happening, and this is, if I was Trump, I'd let this thing ride out. I'll tell you why. Because I'll give you the best example, Gus, and I know we're running short on time. The best example is this. I was recently went on a car website, right? Because I'm looking at performance cars every so often, and when I want to learn something before I purchase a car, I'd go on the forums, right? And when you get on the automotive forums, if you read it, you would literally think the car was made out of duct tape, and it was being held together by duct tape and crazy glue, right? Because you're hearing all these horror stories, but you never hear the good ownership experiences of that particular car. So likewise, these protesters, which are like 0.00001% of the entire population, are the ones getting all the attention. They're getting all the noise, right? In these DNC controlled cities and states that are allowing this crap to happen, right? And a lot of the places where they can have the majority control of the city, and they can have some of the control of the state capital, as it is in New York, in the state of New York. But much of New York, especially in the outer burbs and whatnot, is very right of center. Okay, and so these guys are getting all the noise, they're getting all the attention. What they don't see is the rest of us, and that rest of us is the silent majority. We're watching this whole thing transpire. And the thing about us silent majorities, we are not only ones that are the most productive, that have the money, that have the real voting power, but we're also the ones that are the most heavily armed to the teeth. And I think that now the world is starting to recognize Democrat and shithole is becoming synonymous. Democrat and lawlessness is becoming synonymous. Democrat and communist is becoming synonymous. Democrat and and absolute mayhem and chaos and not safe and crime is being synonymous. And going into November, dude, these guys are basically handing the election to Trump on a silver platter.
Dude, I hope the best case, the most optimistic case, is that just like Brexit gave us a peek into 2016, that the last UK election gave us a peek into 2020. Yeah. And it really is a red slaughter, a red wave, like a crazy red wave in November. That's the best case scenario. Because to squash this, to really squash this whole thing, you need an overwhelming slaughter at every level. I'm talking, like I said, think about the front lines all the way up to the executive branch. You need a slaughter on the mayor's side. You need a slaughter on district attorneys. You need a slaughter on county commissioners, governors, the House, the Senate. You need a full red wave. And as soon as that happens, if you could get that for 2 to 4 years, then you could have the kind of influence that Obama, the fucking gay communist Muslim, you could have enough influence as Obama had in 8 years. By that, I mean, we need to start, and another 4 years with a nice, large majority is required to do this. We need to start planting seeds at every single place in the civilization. Yeah. Schools, district attorneys, everything you could think of. And their greatest weapon is most of us and most Republicans are in the private sector. A large chunk of them. Part of the problem with the liberal base is a lot of these are tenured they're tenured government employees. They either work for the city, the county, the state, the feds. They're the Democratic base. The reason all these people vote Democrat is because they want bigger governments, right? So part of our disadvantage is we're business owners, or we're employees, or we want to be in the private sector. We want to do our own thing. And there has to be some sort of institutional change everywhere from the front lines all the way up to the feds. If we could execute a red wave like we've never seen before in 2020. And if I was running shit, if I was at the top of the fucking heap, my best advice would be education. We have to take back K through 12, and we need to take it back yesterday. The only way to fucking win this thing in the long term is, dude, crush all the fucking federal K through 12 bullshit. Destroy them, wipe them out. These kids, if you need a glimpse into how important K through 12 is, you need to realize that 95% of this madness being carried out, their foot soldiers, are all 20 to 35 years old. It's all millennials and Gen Zers who have no they are, dude. It has been, I said it to you guys years ago. This has basically been a Chomsky, Howard Zinn revisionist subjective analyzation of Western ideals. And that's why I snap when someone says oppression. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm Greek, you dumb fuck. Do you not know anything about fucking world history? The whole lens of reality and world history to these people has been defined by socialist communists. Exactly. Howard Zinn is a fucking commie. And he became cool once he got brought up in Good Will Hunting. And everyone's like, oh, we got to do this Howard Zinn thing now. Like, Howard Zinn and Chomsky are on the same fucking page. They hate America. They hate the West. They are the historical two fathers of SJW shit. So the
absolutely. And then you have the radicalism with Saul Alinsky.
The philosophy branch of it is the postmodernists. They're the ones who took it. Chomsky and Zinn did the mistake of sticking to the old communist bullshit of class warfare. But they are the ones who look back at history and said, it's all America's fault. It's all Europe's fault. And they selectively edit which conflict. You could go back and look at the last go all the way back to the Bronze Age. Look at the migration patterns and the fucking how world history's played out, doesn't matter if it's in Asia, Europe, the Middle East, Northern Africa. The history of the world is the history of warring tribes, back and forth, of all races, of all religions. What these people have done is they've erased any atrocities done by Asians, Middle Easterners, Africa. They've erased that part.
That's gone.
The only atrocities that are ever talked about are the atrocities of the West. This is by design. They want these kids coming out of high school and college thinking the evil Europeans did it all, and it's just a lie. It's such a if you bring up the Armenian and Greek genocide, if I pulled a kid off the street, give me a 20-year-old kid off the street, and I'm like, do you know what happened in Constantinople and Turkey from 1915 to 1920? Do you know what happened to Greeks, Armenians, and Christians in Turkey? And this is World War I. This is 100 years ago. Do you think they would know that the Turks exterminated 4 million people? The Nazi extermination of Jews, the framework for it was stolen from the Turks. The Turks are the ones who came up with the fucking shit. Like is that taught is that taught in schools? Is it taught in, of course not. No, because why is it not taught? They pound the Holocaust in schools to death because the Holocaust was committed by Western white Europeans. They don't talk about the Greek Armenian genocide at all in schools. It's just as real, and it's 20, 30 years before the Holocaust. The reason why is because it was committed by fucking Muslim Turks, and they have to be they're a protected class. But so the reason these kids are fucking nuts and insane is because they have been brainwashed since 5. And like I said, conservatives have to start thinking about the long game. Like liberals, that's the one thing liberals have done way better, dude. And me and you've talked about it ad nauseum. They have planted seeds and they've waited for those seeds to sprout. And we're like, oh yeah, let's get taxes. Yeah, let's get 30-round magazine. Like, dude, conservatives
we did not win the culture. We did not win academia. We slept at the wheel on that.
Yes,
that's how you win a generation. That's how you ensure
the future.
That's how you ensure the future. You capture the culture. We never capture the culture. We let it go. And the thing is this, man, it's like, I have to commend Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil, because we need to do what he is doing right now, which is he is abolishing all Marxist, Leninist, communistic ideologies and doctrine from all schools and universities, eliminating all of it. Ban it. It needs to be banned. It's got to go.
Well, so much of like all the grievance studies or victimhood studies in colleges, so much of them is based on it's just total fiction. It doesn't. It's where this shit stems from. Like I said, I don't even know. At first, I was shocked a lot of these people had the audacity to even pay for those kind of degrees. But what really fucks me up, and this is what's come true. This is what even got the Weinstein brothers on board. When Brett and Eric Weinstein start saying Civil War shit, what got them on board is what they realized is all these victimhood studies, all these PhDs, all these fat redheaded fucking lesbos, they sacked STEM. that is so when liberals always say science, they're lying. They don't give a fuck about that. They're dog, dude. They hate STEM because STEM is based in objective, testable fact. They've weaponized STEM to squash this. It's a logical fallacy of appeal to authority. They say, oh, the scientists agree, and to prove it, we're going to take this 15-year-old Swedish communist and have her lecture you on whatever. When they use science,
she was also called in as the expert for
the virus,
black in America.
Yeah, the virus.
Not only virus. CNN reinvited her during the riots as part of the Being Black in America panel. Greta Thunberg was on there.
Yeah. Well, she is Antifa. Her parents are Antifa. They're communists. They're communist revolutionaries. They're the whole thing. I'll leave people with this. If they could find it, go watch JFK's speech on secret societies, and just listen to everything he says, and you'll be like, "Holy shit!" They have infiltrated every single aspect of civilization, and dude, we could this is not even hyperbole or me. This is acceptance. We could under 500 years of darkness. We really could easily.
Once we've lost the flame of sacred liberty, we've lost it forever.
Dude, we could enter 500 years of darkness.
We can enter 1,000 years of darkness.
Yeah, if they squash reality, liberty, freedom, our ability to speak, our ability to arm ourselves, if they squash all that, what's terrifying is you're not gonna want to get the fuck out of the U.S. You're gonna want to get the fuck out of the West. Like, I don't know where you'll be safe. Singapore, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's fucked up. If it might be. Have you guys ever seen the movie Looper?
Yeah,
where they go back in time and they pay each other in silver and gold and whatever. And one of the head mobsters who had come back from the future was lecturing him when he was younger, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I want to go to France." And he goes, "Kid, go to Asia." And he goes, "No, I want to go to France." He goes, "Kid, I'm from the future. Trust me, go to Asia." And that might be our reality. There's
a reason why Jim Rogers is there.
Well, he stands out the most, and that's Soros's former business partner too.
Hates him.
Well, of course,
Jim
he hates him.
Hates Soros.
But he's.
I talked to him here and there. Jim's like, I give him a call. He's like,
inherently.
What was that?
CJ found the speech, the Kennedy speech. Oh. It's a great speech. Everyone should listen to it. Rogers has also had access to Soros's last 40 years of thinking. Yep. Think about that. So you could argue he hates him, blah, 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 but he knows when you're in an off, not many people know me as good as Will knows me. We've been working hip by hip for 10 years. When Will asks me a question, he already knows what my answer is going to be. So yeah, Rogers knows Soros. He's known him for half a century. So he knows the kind of evil. When Rogers knows the kind of evil he's dealing with, and he runs to teaches his kids. He runs to Singapore and teaches his kids Mandarin.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
That tells you.
I call the guy up. How you doing, Vay? I'm just sitting here eating some platypus and just taking some Mandarin classes.
he knows maybe that's their plan. The guys.
That is the plan. The plan is to eviscerate the entire northern hemisphere in the western, all the western countries in the northern hemisphere, eviscerate them all. Wealth transfers to the east, wash, rinse, repeat, and the spider that spins the web in the corporation of the city of London still stays in power.
It's hard. It's hard for people for them to execute, and it's what they're doing. That's why they're so pro fucking wiping out the middle class. Yep. They want us to be all peasants, and the reason why is because it's hard for peasants to fight back. It's just that simple. And when you see all the capital flows to China and everyone's sticking up for China, all the oligarchs and whatever, it all makes sense. It's like they've already made their bets. And their bets is we're over. Europe and America had their 500 years, good times. Thank you for playing. Now it's Asia's turn. Right. And they're like, oh, we'll get 100 years out of China. Then we'll shift our fucking focus to India. Then we'll shift. They basically come in. They come into a clean balance sheet environment.
Bro, they burned Rome. After they burned Rome and destroyed the entire Roman Empire, where did they wind up? London.
Yeah.
And then they came here to the United States. They set us up. Now they're moving east. Dude, I know you have to go, but here's the thing. Yesterday, I had an amazing guest on, Matthew Arrett, who's a scholar and a researcher, specifically about the geostrategic, geopolitical, and he's listen to him. That is one of the most top end minds when it comes to understanding the whole entire financial game of what's really going on with the city of London, because he would run into the same problems I would run into. We come to the same conclusions. That is a brilliant interview.
I will check it out. This is yesterday.
Yeah, Matthew Arrett. That's the one. But anyway, closing comments, Gus. Go for it, brother.
It's real, like I've said, and I'm gonna hold off and fight as long as I can. When I know the fight is lost, the focus would then become where can you go where you could still speak and your money's safe and your family's safe. That's the real tragedy. If this thing falls, and I've heard this debated between the expats versus the guys who want to go, prep and hide out and wait it out. It's where else can you go that is socially and economically free? And that's what's terrifying. Not many places are.
Not many places. That's why it's like
finding both. So there are places like Bangkok that are socially free, but you can't trust those motherfuckers. You can't trust the fucking bot with your the banking system in Bangkok with your money. And there are places that are economically free, like Singapore.
Right.
Singapore's economically free, but it's not socially free. You try having an orgy with hookers in Singapore, see what they do to you.
Or spit some gum in the street, see what happens.
Yeah. That's the problem. Even if this goes south and we get wiped out and it really is a communist dictatorship in 5 years, then I don't know where you could even go. Like that has it all. That checks all the boxes. Like, blah, 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 blah. That's what's really.
This is why people need to talk to the gorilla about how to properly set up and get yourself offshore the right way.
I'll tell you the only thing they're missing that I've noticed that most of these revolutions and totalitarian regimes have. The only thing I haven't been able to identify yet. They usually have a face. And that's when forget about Biden. This guy's he literally dementia as fuck, whatever.
The face is coming. It's called Michelle Obama.
You think it's Michelle Obama?
I hope not.
The only thing we're missing, and maybe it's Obama comes back and he's the Antichrist. I don't know. The only thing we're missing is the face. They will have, if this all plays out the way I think it will, they will eventually have a communist dictator in there, if we lose, and I just don't know who's that. Maybe it's Kamala Harris. I don't fucking know. Keep an eye out for the leader. They're gonna have a leader up there, a dictator, someone that they all do. If you go back and study all these fucking commie regimes the last 150 years, 100 years, they all have a face. Yeah. So that's what I'm waiting to see who's going to be revealed to be the face. And maybe that really will be our fucking Antichrist. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Gus, thank you so much for joining us. And folks, it's about in Singapore, it's about chewing your gum and throwing your gum in the street, not your gun. All right. With that being said, we're over and out. Take it away, CJ.
Later, guys.